Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second month program of the summer edition of the Daily Wraps from St. Times Cats. I'm Barry Peer. Thanks for watching wherever you may be watching from this great country of ours, and from wherever your address might be. From Sydney to Brisbane, the Central Coast, from Darwin to Perth to Melbourne to Adelaide, you name it, we bring the show to you every Tuesday morning here, and unfortunately my offsider is not present with me today, so I've got Duncan here today. Good morning, Duncan. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Barry. Thank you for having me on.
Well, today on the show we're going to go over some of the plants we have here and the importance of looking after the garden. Now, you may recall that I made a video on the gardening a few weeks back or a few months back, and to open the show we're going to be telling you about some of the different plants we have here and the vegetables. And the first of them we have Mozon. There it is there, and here's my offsider to read you what's on the back of that.
So it says it's also known as the pizza herb. The hardy spreading perennial forms a thick mat of grey-green leaves with delicate flowers in the summer months.
So another thing we showed you was the mint. Now, mint is also good for putting in your tea. Your tea mixed with hot water. You can also add mint to mint jelly if you've had mint jelly. And here's my offsider to read you.
So we got some peppermint here. It's a highly aromatic perennial with green-red foliage and a fresh peppermint scent. It can be used for a great herbal tea. You can just put a handful of it and just put that to the boil with some water. It's also good in some desserts and salads.
Okay, well with the mint, guys, you can make a mint jelly. Now, mint is also good for upset stomachs. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, so it's got some medicinal properties to it with all the nutrients in it.
And also, today on the program we're going to be talking about how important it is to look after the garden and take care of it. Now, I also mentioned something about shopping before you go gardening, because if you're going gardening, guys, make sure you've got all your dead plants and weeds out before you put any new ones in. Here's my offsider.
Oh, you definitely don't want weeds in your garden. They'll take up all the nutrients from the soil, and then it'll reduce the growth of your plants you're trying to grow.
Okay, now, shopping before you garden, guys. Work out where you're going to go shopping, where you're going to get your seeds from, and your pots and all of that. But how much it's going to cost you from your soil, your manure, your ceramic pots will rot. Here's my offsider.
Yes, it's very important to get all the right equipment for growing a nice plant, a nice garden. It's also good to do some research on what you should, when you should grow the plants and what you should grow.
And do some research too, guys, on what grows in summer, autumn, winter and spring. And I will just pause that for a moment while we research this. We're going to talk about now what grows in summer. So we'll be back with you in just a moment. This is the second final show of the year on Tuesday, the 8th of December. Welcome back. This is Barry, Bear and Duncan with you on the show today, and here he is to tell you what grows in summer.
So, for the subtropical areas, which is the southeast of Queensland and northern New South Wales, some good herbs to grow. You can do some basil, chives, coriander, and some fruits and vegetable ideas would be some beans, capsicum, celery, cucumber, some potatoes, or some tomatoes as well.
Now, with tomatoes, guys, you've got to water them at least a couple of times a day. And make sure you've got some good soil for this. And with tomatoes, they must be red before you pick them. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, so the color of the tomato is very important. It tells you when they're ripe and ready to eat.
Now, everything on the right tomatoes, guys, you'd be pretty crook. So as my offsider also said, you can grow beans in the summer too, and many other vegetables. And the important thing is, guys, if you are going to garden, make sure that you listen to the weather forecast, making sure that it is not too hot before you garden. Here's my offsider.
Yes, it's also very important to do research.
So don't just garden willy-nilly. I can assume you know what to do with the garden, because if you're a garden guru, you must know what you're going to plant and work out where you're going to put everything from flowers to fruits and vegetables. Here's my offsider.
Yes, it's good to have a plan of what you're growing so you know what to grow, when it's going to grow, and what's good to grow.
And make sure that you do some research, guys, on what flower plants need the most shade and what needs the sun. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, so different plants need different climates and amounts of sunlight and water to grow very well.
So, you need to work out, guys, the best time to do summer gardening. And if you go to a gardening store like Flower Power, guys, have a chat to the staff there. They may be able to assist with you with your gardening needs. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, so it's good to have a talk with those guys there. They know what they're talking about.
So work out what time you are going to do the garden, guys, but don't do it in the middle of the day when it is going to be 38, 39 degrees, because that is too hot to garden. Here's my offsider.
Yes, especially with summer just around the corner. Well, already here actually. The temperatures are going to be really hot.
So, do not neglect your plants. Give them as much water as possible. Okay, keep an eye on them. Okay, and do it. Start your gardening maybe after breakfast in the coolest part of the day, say about 9:30, 10 o'clock, before the temperature really hits. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, nice and early in the morning when there's sunlight, before the middle of the day where it gets really hot.
Now, the hottest part of the day is between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., guys. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, so it's when the sun's been out the longest at its highest point. It's usually when it's the hottest.
So, please do not garden. Please do not garden on very hot days. And speaking of hot days, guys, which brings us to the next topic of today's show. Should outings be cancelled on hot days? Let us know down below. We'd like your thoughts on this. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's a big topic there, Barry. Lots to discuss in it. Would like to see what you guys think at home.
Okay, so with the hot weather upon us now, if you're planning an outing, guys, please make sure you've got your hat. I'll just show you that hat now. And that's the Channel 9 logo. Your sunglasses, your sun cream, and your gloves, your plates, your knives and forks and everything. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, the old saying, slip, slop, slap. But I think they added a few more words to that, didn't they?
Yeah, so cover your body, including your legs.
Yeah, that's the
Here's
slip.
my offsider.
Yeah, the easiest form of defense against the sun is just to wear a bit more protective clothing.
So next week will be our final program of the year here. And Cass, if you are watching, I hope that your son or daughter gets better soon, and I look forward to you joining me on next week's show. And we've got a bumper show to bring you next week, but on with today's show and what we were discussing. Should outings continue? If it's too hot, please do let us know. Now, another thing, if you're planning an outing, guys, work out where you're gonna go and if money is required for this. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's good to have a plan of where you're going, so you save a lot of time actually when you're going out.
So this is episode 126 now, because I did episode 125 on Sunday, so this is episode 126. Okay, the next episode will probably be 127, that's tomorrow. Okay, so back to the outing. You should always plan ahead if you are gonna do an outing, guys, and whether there is wheelchair access, accessible bathrooms, okay, etc. Here's my outsider.
Yes, it's good to know where you're going if they have ramps so the wheelchairs can get to the places you want to go.
Now, it's time for a message. So back with you in a moment.